Hello, everybody out there in the land of make-believe. Uncle Barko here, and I'm at my artist tablet here. I got one of these here computer dealies for doing my art on. I'm making a graphic for one of my toys. One of my toys is Space Cootie, one of my Space Cooties. That's not what this video is about. What is it about? It's about toxic inspiration. And to make that up, just to pull that out of my ass, that there title. But I think it makes sense. I think it's applicable. Let me get to the point. So a friend of mine was on the Facebook, and they said, basically, why should I bother making art when there are so many other artists out there making better art than I ever could? I have that same thought that goes through my head. I look at a lot of art. I like a lot of reference material. Let's take a peek over here. Reference material, all this stuff, all of this. That's all just, when I'm thinking about stuff, I go through it and I look at other people's art and it inspires me. But at the same time, I look at somebody like Todd Shore. If I'm paging through a book of Todd Shore paintings, I get really down on myself because I know I'll never. What he does is exactly what I would like to do. If I could paint, that's what I would like to come out of me. And why he's already doing it, so why should I bother trying to do anything when there's other people? I get it, I'm right there. So that's what I mean by toxic inspiration, where I'm going through all my stuff and I'm looking at Alan Moore, and Alan Moore can write better than I can write, and I'm looking at Edward Gorey, and Edward Gorey can draw better than I can draw. But I don't let that bother me. Here, let me break it down for you. Why I shouldn't let it bother you. So number one is it's not about your talent as much as it is about your vision. Like I've said before, art is 10% vision and 90% remembering what your particular vision is. Basically, you could take two stick figures and have them saying something to each other and make it brilliant. I mean, that's possible. I've seen stuff. Let's just take Salvador Dali, for example. You got your Salvador Dali, and that's incredible stuff. How are you going to make that? How do you make that? You're just sitting there trying to make art, and you're like, I'm never going to be able to make art as good as Salvador Dali made art. But then you got your Gary Larsons, right? So you look at a Gary Larson, put a Gary Larson up next to a Salvador Dali, and you go, okay, Gary Larson doesn't know how to make art. But Gary Larson had vision, and he spent time at it, and he figured out how to make stuff look like other stuff enough that you knew that's a guy and that's a girl and that's a cow. But I mean, they don't really look like cows. His cows don't. That's not what cows look like. But it was enough like a cow that he could get his point across and get his vision out. And I'll tell you what, if I'm looking at a Gary Larson drawing and I'm looking at a Salvador Dali painting, I tell you, I've gotten as much, if not more, enjoyment out of Gary Larson than I have out of Salvador Dali. So it's not about your talent level. You know, it is and it isn't, but it isn't. It isn't. I've got a little comic series called Simple. And I didn't spend. I just wanted to figure out how to do a little comic run where I do a comic and another one that's got the same characters. So I made a bunch of really super simple drawings, and I am saying clever things to each other. And I put it up on the social media sites, and some people are like, "Oh, that's garbage," but then other people read it and go, "Oh, I get what he said. That's funny. That's funny." Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks it's funny, but I think it's funny, and I had a good time making it, and it was worthwhile doing it. I can't compare it to Gustave Doré, and I can't compare it to Edward Gorey, but Edward Gorey can't compare it. I bet you Edward Gorey was sitting there going, "Oh, I wish I could draw like Gustave Doré," you know. And I'm sitting here wishing I could draw like Edward Gorey, you know. So it's everybody's got something that they want to do better than they're doing it now, and there's other people doing it better than they are. I mean, it's just the course of nature, you know. Maybe when you're 100 years old, you'll be the best ever of making it is whatever you make, but until then, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Is basically how it is. Just deal with it. Number two, most art up close looks like crap. Right? It's just a bunch of squiggles and lines and stuff. You go up to some art and look at it like that. You go, oh, that's crappy art. That's not even what a real face looks like. And that's what you're doing when you're doing your art. You're all up in it. You're putting your little lines and stuff. I have a lot of trouble with that when I'm doing art. One of the things that holds me back is that I don't believe the illusion. I don't believe that if you have a line like that and you have a line like that, that it's going to make the one thing behind it look like it's in front of it. I understand when I zoom out and I look at it, or I look at other art and that's how it is. I understand. Oh yeah, that tricks you. It tricks you into making you think that it's the thing you're thinking it is. But in reality, it's just a bunch of squiggly lines. Just a bunch of squiggly lines. Doesn't look anything like the real thing in real life, but just enough so you go, oh, yeah, I know what that is. But I have trouble believing that when I'm drawing. I gotta zoom out a lot and take a look away and look back and go, okay, yeah, that looks like the thing I'm trying to kind of make it look like. I'll keep at it. But when you're looking up close at art like you are when you're making your own art, it's gonna look crappy. And if you find something you really like, and then just get up all on it, and you go, God, that's the kind of crappy. But when you go away and you go, oh, all together with all the stuff, you know, yeah, that looks like the thing it's supposed to look like. Oh, and number three, most artists think that their art looks like crap, especially when comparing it to other artists that they admire. I would say even confident artists that they really think they're good artists. I think I'm a good artist. If somebody asks me if I'm a good artist, I'll say yeah, I'm a good artist. But inside, no, I struggle. I struggle every time I'm going to make the art. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't know what I'm doing. If you think that your art is crap, well, you're well on your way of being a good artist. Because as soon as you start thinking that your art is all that, that's when it's just it's going to be repetitive. You're not going to put a lot of thought into it. And I've seen artists that do that. It's just there's a lot of stuff right now, especially in the industries that I'm looking in, and it's all derivative of their last piece. I'm specifically I'm doing the toy art. I'm making the designer toys, art toys. I've got a little art toy website. You can go down there. It's links in the description. Go down there, like and subscribe. Go there. So yeah, some people, I mean, if you get too comfortable with your own talent, you're just gonna, keep repeating yourself. You're not gonna come up with anything new. So yeah, even if an artist says, "Oh yeah, I'm a good artist. I know I'm a good artist," inside they're terrified. They know they don't know what they're doing. We all know we don't know what we're doing. Fourth and lastly, it takes a lot of failure to get something good. I erase more than I draw. If I'm drawing something, I'll draw 10 circles and then erase the parts I don't like, and then start drawing it again and then erase some more. And it looks like garbage most of the time. Then when I'm done, I'm like, well, that's garbage, but I like this and I like that. And I kind of like where I was going with this. And then I'll start over and I'll do something different with it. This particular cootie, as a space cootie, you can get that at barko.com. This particular cootie, I've done like, I think I'm on like my fourth version of this sculpting, just because the first one was a little goofy, and the second one I needed to make some changes to, and now the third one I like a lot, but I still there's this little thing where the lip hits the eye I'm not real happy with. I'd like to do it better. All artists do that. All artists look at their art and they go, I wish I had done that part. And a lot of people, and I've heard a lot of artists say that something that they made that they thought was complete crap, everybody else loves. I've done some art where I'm like, that's okay. What do you think of that? And everybody's like, oh, that's great. So it's all subjective, is what I'm telling you. Don't let your idea of what's better than what you do affect your wanting to do it. So if you ever get yourself thinking along those lines, like, oh, everybody's art's better than my art, why should I try? Just, what, Kitty? No, I'm telling them right now. That's what I'm telling them about. I'm not saying it about myself. So if you're ever feeling down about how your art isn't as good as other people's art, just know they all think the same thing about someone else's art, and probably somebody thinks the same thing about your art. So just keep doing it. Just keep at it. Make it better. The more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the happier you'll be with the results. Or something like that. I just made that up. I don't know. So that's it. Always remember your vision, and Godspeed, Earthlings.